Great to have you with us. Now, some youth in Sekondi, the capital of the Western region, are demonstrating to demand the installation of a new chief to spearhead the development of Sekondi. It has been 17 years since the chief died without a replacement. The youth say the absence of a chief is retarding development in the area. Here are some of the demonstrators speaking to Joy News in Abandze and Kormantse.
Sekondi is not a just paramanship. It is a paramanship with over 22 subjects. And any leader in Ghana or outside Ghana, when it comes to Sekondi, he will just bypass the main, the capital of the region and go to the nearby small towns. And we think that it is a disrespect for the paramountship, even though there's not a substantive. There are caretaker chiefs in the paramountship. So if anything, even if we don't have the chief, that needed respect should be accorded to the Sekondi paramountship. And we are saying that enough is enough. We are loving and peace-loving citizens of Sekondi. Left to any other community, people would have taken the laws into their hands to do a lot of unfortunate things. But we, the people of Sekondi, are loving these people. That is why we are embarking on this peaceful demonstration to tell the House of Chiefs we don't support any side. All that we are begging them is to rule on the substantive matter so that we have our paramount chief. That is so simple.
Let's get onto the phone line now and speak with Abandze and Kormantse for the latest. Ina, to whom are the demonstrators channeling their grievance? Right, Ina, if you can hear me, who are these demonstrators speaking to?
Daniel, can you come again?
Yeah, I was asking that these young people who are demonstrating, who are they channeling their grievance to?
Okay, they've gone to the Regional Coordination Council, but unfortunately, they didn't meet the regional minister, so they channeled their grievances to the coordinating director, and then from there, they stormed the Sekondi Metropolitan Assembly. They were all over to the center. They said the chief executive was not around. So they had to, if you know Sekondi the SCMA very well, there are staircases. They have to jump over the staircase. And some of them have to even jump over the wall to get into the SCMA to channel their grievances to the assembly.
Did they get any response from officialdom?
At the Regional Coordinating Council, the coordinating director, David Bowman, told them that they had received it and then they will forward it to the regional minister, who in turn would also forward it to the chieftaincy minister. From here, they are moving to the Regional House of Chiefs.
Right. What else can you report on this?
Basically, these people are saying that because there is no chief, all developmental projects in Sekondi have stalled. They are giving 2 months to leadership in Sekondi and to the government that if they do not make sure that whatever dispute is settled, they are going to take the law into their own hands. They are going to make sure that they close down the harbor, they close down all companies in Sekondi.
Thank you very much, Abandze and Kormantse, for that report. And Abandze is our correspondent in the Western region. Now, moving on, the Ministry of Sanitation has revealed plans to adopt ICT to improve waste management in the country. It will involve the installation of microchips in waste collection vehicles. Nana Aljima has been following Sanitation Minister Joseph Kofiada, who has been touring the Kormantse landfill site and now reports.
The ICT component will enable city authorities in charge of sanitation to monitor waste management. The Sanitation Minister, Kofi Ada, wants landfill sites and other sectors of waste management to be captured under the new system. The modern technology, he says, is part of the capacity development project of the ministry targeted at dealing with sanitation issues in the country. He spoke to Love News after touring the Oti landfill site in Kumasi.
The ICT development part of it would enable us to put a chip on every aboboya and every container, whether it's a waste container or it's a dustbin. We have all of those on chips that we can monitor from wherever we are. Even the landfill site itself would be captured on video. So every day, whether the minister or the mayor or even the president can see on the screen in his office what we are doing with the sanitation function of the country. Whereas the aboboyas that are lining up here, the president may want to see, the minister may want to see, the mayor may want to see how many have lined up, how frequently they are turning around and depositing the waste in the landfill site, and how bad or how good the state of the landfill site is. So this is an ICT development concept that will have a chip on every aboboya. We have a chip on the waste containers. We have a chip on the bins that we can track wherever we are and know where they are.
Meanwhile, the KMA has devised a strategy to prevent tricycle operators from using the bags for the carting of food and waste. All tricycles used in waste collection will be required to be branded in orange colors. KMA Mayor Osei Esibe Entry has been explaining the concept.
These colors are the legitimate colors for the waste disposal, and on no account can they use it for a food business, anything with regard to edibles. At the same time, we have also had several meetings with them, educate them on the need to cover by using the nets. So as you can see for yourself, the nets are all over. Then we've also numbered them. So today, if you help us to officially inaugurate it, then from next week going, those without the numbers and those without the colors will be prevented from working so that we sanitize the system.
Nana Yaojima reporting.
Now, moving on, Minister for Youth and Sports, Isaac Esiama, has today argued that government has made giant strides towards fulfilling its campaign promise of creating jobs for the youth. Taking his turn in the Meet the Press series, Mr. Esiama argued that more than 3,000 youth have so far been trained in various programs aimed at preparing them to land jobs. The issue of unemployment was a major discussion point in the build-up to the 2016 elections, with then-candidate Akufo-Addo assuring of addressing the situation. He told the gathering government was engaging some private companies to employ the youth once they complete their training.
And here, I must give thanks to capable, creative hands at the Youth and Sports, at the Youth Authority, headed by Honorable Emmanuel Sigri. I'm part of them. For that legacy projects. These are legacy projects Ghanaians will have. Mr. Chairman, I've so far painted a picture of what it is at the Ministry of Youth and Sports. And let me also quickly add this one. Many of the federations have also received increased support from the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Some of them, 6 years, did not receive any support. Some 10 years. But for the past 1 year, within 13 months or so, I'm happy to report to you that most of these federations have received increased support for their local and international programs. So let me now take you through setup as agency by agency and give you a brief performance review of the agencies under me. Let me begin with the youth sector. In line with the MPP manifesto promise, here I quote, that the youth institute are a major source of human capital for the transformational agenda of the country, end of quote. However, we are all aware that the major challenge facing the youth is lack of job opportunities. The unemployment situation is a threat to our security and our democracy. That is a fact. The youth unemployment is a threat to our security and our democracy. The ministry is therefore doing all that it can to empower the youth and employ their skills and talents for sustained growth of the economy and involve them in decision-making processes at all levels. Accordingly, the following projects and programs were rolled out last year. Step towards employment and productivity. In line with the manifesto of change, an agenda for jobs, and the African Union vision of harnessing the demographic dividend through investment in the youth, the NYA launched the Step Towards Employment and Productivity project in Kumasi. The project involves skill training for young people in areas such as cosmetology, agribusiness, welding and fabrication, ICT, and dressmaking. We have also introduced what we call digital marketing and entrepreneurship. So currently, as we speak, 3,000 youth are undergoing digital marketing and entrepreneurship skills training program throughout the country. Already, an MOU has been signed with EcoBank Ghana Limited to engage all the trainees after the completion of the training program.
Now, Goldfields Ghana Limited says, contrary to bad press about the company's decision to lay off some of its workers, it has adhered to all laid down procedure to the former. In an exclusive interview with Joy News' Bernice Abubedu following series of demonstrations by the aggrieved workers to protest the company's intended retrenchment plan, the Vice President of Goldfields said head of stakeholder relations explained that in all processes so far, the company has made sure that victims will not suffer after leaving the company. He gave details of the matter and retrenchment packages prepared for staff to be laid off.
The employees that were with Goldfields already will be rolled over to the contractor after they getting paid their severance package. So if, for example, you are one of those and you've worked with Goldfields for, let's say, 10, 15 years, and there's so many of them who have, for each year that you worked for Goldfields, you'll be paid 3 months gross salary, multiplied by the number of years that you've worked. All right. So if you've been with us for 15 years, it's 3 months of your gross times 15 years. Plus, you get the opportunity to work for a contractor.
Is that guaranteed?
It was actually condition precedent that when we were looking for contractors to do this business, it was one of the conditions that you have to take on our employees. I mean, obviously, if there's a legitimate reason why the contractor cannot absorb an employee, that's made clear. But in the absence of that, yes, there is an obligation on them, and it's part of the contract that we signed with the contractor to absorb. We carried out a similar exercise in Daman, where about 80% of the employees were actually taken on by the contractor. So that really is the arrangement.
Okay. Per the initial arrangements, how much?
Still watching Joy News today. I am Daniel Daze. Let's take a look at the stories gone by so far. Sanitation Minister Joseph Kofi Adda reveals plans to introduce the use of ICT in the management of waste in the country. Also, some youth in Sekondi Takade hit the street to protest the absence of a legitimate chief to spearhead development in the Sekondi paramountcy. Still to come, management of the bulk oil storage transportation company jabs detractors over alleged crude oil sale, insisting it is invigorated to keep its focus in the industry. And call it saved by God and you will not be far from it. A trader located opposite the offices of Multi-TV escaped being hurt or possibly dead when a car ran into her shop this Tuesday. We'll bring you details after this break. Thanks for staying with us. Now, managers of bulk oil storage company BOST say those individuals engaged in defaming the company are only doing so owing to the inroads the company is making in the industry. The company therefore remains unfazed and rather invigorated to keep doing that which sends shivers down the spines of its detractors. Addressing a news conference just a while ago, head of oil trade department at BOST Albert Mante told newsmen the bad publicity is rather a good one for the company in disguise. They will therefore take the advantage to come out stronger in their service delivery.
We understand the history behind this because every time and then BOST revives its operation. And when the signal fall out there, because some traders will not be happy, and they have always not been happy for BOST to improve on, then they will come threatening using other means, shape and form. So we are not surprised, and we are not threatened by Duncan Amoy's statement. If I sell product today and you are willing to pay me earlier, or you are willing to give me a discount, I, the trading head, in consultation with the managing director, have the right to give as much as 5% discounts. And that is the trading policy. As much as you are willing to pay cash, and you are willing to pay earlier than the agreed term that we grant to everybody, which is 45, 30 days, depending on your risk assessment, we are willing to grant you that discount. And so it marvels us that the so-called Dankanama, who is COPEC, you have to come here to understand. We are willing to teach you about the nitty-gritties of this trade, so that when you go out there, you go and make your pronouncement accurately. He make a statement that he's aligning this because of fuel price increases in the country. As a trader, I understand fully what contributes to fuel price increases. The fuel that we buy in Ghana is one of the most quality fuel in the world. It's what they use in Europe because of the effect on the emission effect on the environment. We used to do 500 ppm. Today, we are doing 50. So it means that the quality, if you are doing A+, today you are doing A++. And that is accounted for the increases, which is the best decision in this time of the world that everybody is talking about.
Now, the Kormantse Senior High Technical School in the Central Tongue District of the Volta region has installed an internet-connected time and attendance system to help monitor punctuality of teachers in the school. The initiative, which aims at curbing teacher absenteeism, has so far been helpful as teacher attendance has since improved. Here's Fred Kwame Asari's report.
Teacher absenteeism has been one of the contributing factors to the failure of students in their final exams. The Ministry of Education, under the Eastwal Mahama administration, reduced the rate from 27% in 2012 to 7% in 2016 through a zero tolerance for teacher absenteeism policy. That notwithstanding, the Kormantse Senior High Technical School, in its quest to further decrease the rate of absenteeism and improve academic performance in the school, has installed a biometric time and attendance system. The system, which replaces the manual logbook, has been fed with the biometric data of all teaching and non-teaching staffs. The system allows the teachers to sign in and out electronically using an automated device. The device, which is internet connected, records the time of arrival and departure of teachers attached with their respective names. The data is kept in a cloud which is only accessible by the headmaster. The headmaster of the school, Courage Mateku, noted teacher attendance and punctuality had improved after the device was installed. He added management of the school is weighing options to install a CCTV camera system in classrooms to ensure teachers do not miss their teaching periods.
For example, just last week, I quickly met the staff at our morning assembly, and I mentioned a few names. You were in school on time throughout the week. You were first 4 days, you were present, but the 5th day, you were behind schedule. And then those who were late, just sample some of them and mention their name that the whole of the week, Monday to Friday, you were late to class. And they all testify. When I was mentioning even the time to them, they all testified that, Master, it is true. So with this, they come to school early. And with the records here, often they come even before 7. Initially, it will be hard unless you are a master on duty before you find them coming to school early. But this time, masters and mistresses, even though they are not on duty, will come and log in.
Meanwhile, the Member of Parliament for Central Tongue, Gabi Hotoje, presented 100 pieces of monodecks to help tackle the furniture challenges of the school. He also donated a hard-body pickup vehicle for use by the administration. Presenting the items, Mr. Hotoje employed Ghanaians to contribute towards the success of government's flagship free senior high school program.
With the coming in of the free SHS, my party has a different policy. We wanted to make it progressively free. Progressively free with the sense that by the time it is fully implemented, we shall have made the nursery resource available. But you know, my party lost power. And the party in power has decided to implement it. It involves Ghanaians. So there is a need for us to give support where support is needed.
The school has also adopted some modern ways of teaching to improve academic performance to enhance migrate the school from among grade E schools to the grade C column. Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News, Mafi Kumase.
Now, Kormantse and Abandze are two twin villages barely a kilometer apart in the central region. And yes, for decades, a bitter rivalry over a colonial-era fort has kept them apart in a feud that has sometimes turned bloody. In our series of stories looking at towns with interesting names and history as part of Joy News' Ghana Month, Justice Bedu traveled to these two towns to learn a lot more. Here's his report.
Sounds of the legendary high-life musician Bessa Simons singing about an age-old feud that has been between two of Ghana's historical towns, Abandze and Kormantse. This is a 1985 classic, but this conflict predates the song many years. The Abandze Kormantse conflict was centered around this monument, Fort Amsterdam, built by the English here in 1631 on a land which is said to be for the people of Kormantse. The Abandze people were settlers who came to trade around the fort at the time of its construction. Over time, they came to live here for convenience.
The place was given by the Kormantse. By later, Abandze people they develop, and they also think the place is for them. So anytime there is ownership, the Kormantse people claim that here belongs to them, and Abandze also people claim that here also be them. Sometimes it generated conflict.
For many centuries, this edifice here, which is the fort, has always been the bone of contention between the two communities, Abandze on the one side and Kormantse on the other side. Behind me is the Atlantic Ocean, and then joining the Atlantic Ocean is the lagoon, which is the dividing point between these two towns. Once upon a time, history has it that people from either side of the lagoon wouldn't even dare crossing to each other's territory.
The Abandze people told the Kormantse people to come and carry the fort away if they wanted, but it was not possible, so they couldn't come here. The battle between these two towns turned bloody in 1883, according to Safohen of Kormantse, Nana Kwesi Imprim.
During
the war, the people of Abandze came for a flag from the Kormantse people to help them win the fight. They mounted it before the battle started, so the opponent had an upper hand over them. Kormantse people only went in to resolve it. So bad was this conflict that, in fact, at its peak, even marriages between people from these two towns were frowned on.
This problem have been resolved amicably. Now we can see Abandze people married to Kormantse, and Kormantse people they have children here.
Fast forward nearly 2 centuries, things have calmed, but the memories continue to linger on the minds of many. Justice Bedu, Joy News, on the border between Abandze and Kormantse.
Definitely an interesting story there. Now, about 100 mothers and their babies are receiving treatment as the new mother and baby unit of Konfanochi Teaching Hospital goes operational. Erastus Asari Donko has more.
So, this is the breastfeeding area, and you can see ladies comfortably seated
with their babies, giving them what they really need, milk.
Let me find out from some of them what their impression is so far. I'd say. Na unyade. Twins. Twins. Ah, Yankupon shop. I have to say, Senya will compare baby I won a sanity.
I have a comfortable. Oba unya baby tina ede oba no to so feed in the camera. Emma wa ho to akwa so ho to no. We are not na kwato ne court mo no kwa on the court. I obedem ta ha kama. Ye ni ji wa ha.
Mama say.
Pache.
Na unzunya de.
Baby boy.
Hey, yeah. Yeah, Yankupon shop. No, also, I had to say, Mount.
Oh, everything is fine. Everything is fine because compared to the other side, my baby, whenever I get there, the baby is crying because that place it was very hot. But with this side, when he came, he can sleep unless you wake him up. For now, I think everything is well. Everything is fine. My baby is feeling comfortable.
This looks like a paradise then.
Heaven. To them. For me, one of the nurses said, hey, your son is in heaven, no? So let him feel. And this place is okay. This place is good compared to the other side. As for that side there, you can hear noises, babies crying. It's very disturbing. But with this place, it's very good. That is what I can say.
Thank you very much. You are all smiles already.
I'm so happy.
What's the source of your happiness?
My child is doing well, and I'm very happy about that. Because previously, in fact, I thought I was losing my daughter. But coming here, in fact, she has regained her strength back. And this place is so beautiful. There's discipline here too. The personnel, they are doing very well. They are doing their work very well. They ensure that the place is kept neat and the children too are well taken care of.
Now call it saved by God and you will not be far from it. A trader located opposite the offices of Multi-TV escaped being hurt or possible death when a car ran into her shop this Tuesday. The driver, who denied to speak on record, said he was turning from the main Fanofa Road to park in front of the SSB Bank when he heard the security man shout in his direction. Out of panic, he lost control of the steer and ran into the shop, which was closed today. Some passers-by assisted the driver, still shocked at the accident. Now, they pulled his car from the rubble. For Lamisi, this could have been a bad day for her. That's her reason to be thankful to God.
Daddy, I thank you, Father, I thank you.
Let me see her there. Why is she so excited? Oh, that's her shop. That's her shop.
Definitely a touching scene there. Reminds all of us to be grateful to our Maker. We're grateful that we are at this point of the bulletin. It's time for business with Emmanuel Abwaje Riafi.